That was the impression that it left on me. I will never ever forget that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I also want to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land and pay my respects to the elders, past, present and emerging, to our ambassador. Thank you so much for being here, Minister Hinchliffe, the Jewish Board of Deputies, in particular the President, also to our honorary consul from Germany, most importantly, the family, the Van der Her family. The Holocaust, out of many, many dark chapters in human history, is, I believe, the darkest chapter. And there are many dark chapters, as I said. And this dark chapter, in my mind, was the exemplification of pure evil. But out of that pure evil, which was so overwhelming, stories of goodness came. Because we know that pure evil, when it's expressed, has generational impacts. The evil actions of one person have impacts through the generations. But on the other side of the coin, those good actions and that goodness has impacts throughout the generations. And tonight we see a living example of that. If you have a look in this booklet at the message from the family, from the Holocaust family, and you read the section, the story of your family and my father still echoes. You gave him a safe and secure childhood and imparted your generous and unlimited love. Thanks to you, my father survived. Thanks to you, he grew up and raised a family. Thanks to you, I am here. And thanks to you, my children are with me today. If that doesn't move you, and if that doesn't express how both evil and goodness have generational impacts, then nothing will. But that simple action of taking in a small child and providing shelter and protection and love and care has now passed down through the generations. And so I join others here tonight in paying tribute to your family. There has to be some form of blessing on your family for that goodness. And I thank you, and I know that goodness will pass down further in the generations. But one thing that we also must pass down is a true and deep and meaningful understanding of the impacts of that evil. And Ambassador, you mentioned the importance of education. I must respectfully disagree with you on one small point. When I was in school, I was educated in algebra and trigonometry. I do not remember any of it. So that is education. What we need through the Holocaust Museum that will be established here and through the work that the local Jewish community does is more than just education. It is to leave a lasting and indelible impression for future generations. So not just education, but an understanding, something that's meaningful, something they will never forget. Like most people, I was educated about the Holocaust when I was at school. But interestingly, it wasn't until, and I have to thank Hollywood for something, it wasn't until I saw Schindler's List as a teenager that it left an indelible impression in me. I still remember it today. During that movie, during that movie, I had to leave. And I was physically sick in the bathroom. I vomited. I'm sorry. That was the impression that it left on me. I will never ever forget that. And that is more than education. That is a lasting impression that will last a lifetime. And that is what reminds me that we need to do everything we can to push back against hatred and intolerance and racism. That we need to do everything we can to spread that goodness throughout the generations and not evil. And so I'm so proud to be here tonight, and I'm also so pleased that we have the federal government and the state government committing to a Holocaust museum here in Brisbane. It was many years ago, when I was deputy mayor, that we had a Holocaust display in our council libraries. And I remember talking with Jason at the time and others in the local Jewish community about how wonderful it would be and how important it would be to have a lasting, ongoing Holocaust museum here in Brisbane. And so to know today that we have the support of the federal government and the state government, and we can add to that the support of the Brisbane City Council. I can say we don't have the budget of those other two levels of government, but Brisbane City Council will contribute at least $500,000 to that Holocaust museum. We want to see it happen. We want to see it become a reality. And as I said, I'm so excited that it will now, through all three levels of government and cooperation, become a reality. Not just a way of educating, but hopefully a way of leaving that lasting, indelible impression on people. A lesson that will last a lifetime. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. Thank you so much to the Vanderheer family. I'm so proud of your family and its legacy, and so proud that we can have this ceremony here in Brisbane today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.